Right guys, there's going to be many different situations where you need to fit a fence post onto a concrete wall such as this. This is one here where I'm going to be running a fence off of this wall here. Sometimes you could, actually put the post in the ground there beside the footings of the garage, but in this case there's obviously drainage in here, so we can't dig down and risk breaking the drains. So best option here is to secure onto the side of the garage here. Yeah, so if you stick around, we'll show you the best way to do that. Right guys, so as we were saying, the first thing to do here is to obviously determine the height of the post on the wall. So whether you're running a 6-foot fence, a 4-foot fence, whatever it may be, determine the height your post needs to be and cut it, obviously. Right, so I've determined the length, and in my case it's 1.8 metres, so we've marked it here. Now what I'm going to do now is cut this at a 30-degree angle. I'm going to use a circular saw for this, but you can use anything, even a hand saw, miter saw, anything. The important thing is a 30-degree angle. What we're doing here is creating a runoff for water to stop rot. Here's a picture now of just a typical post that's been squared off and left, open to the elements. It just shows you how much it can rot. So it's very important to cut this at an angle, which we'll do now. Okay, so that's the top of the post cut. You can see there it's at a 30-degree angle. As I'm saying, what that does is make sure when the water hits it, it runs off and doesn't rot the post. Okay, so once you've done that, what we want to do now is mark the post in 4 equal points. So we're going to be putting 4 bolts on this, so one at the top, one there, and one roughly around here at the bottom. So what we need to do now is, here's one here, just mark obviously in the centre, so we'll do that for all 4 points. Okay, so we've marked our 4 locations. What we want to do now is use our 32mm spade bit. What we're going to do is drill down 10mm roughly. That's enough, so we'll do that in the other 3 locations. So what we do now is, once we've drilled with the spade, 32mm spade bit, that's 10mm down, then we'll go all the way through now with a 10mm auger bit, or you could use a drill, just a standard drill bit. So we'll drill this now and we'll do the same for all the other locations. Okay, so this is what you end up with. So we've got a 32mm hole on the outside, recessed to 10mm deep, and then we'll have the 10mm hole in the centre. And what this does is we're going to be using 8mm by 100mm Timco multi-fix fixings, which are cement screws or masonry screws. Okay, so the fixings I use are the Timco multi-fix fixing bolts. So pretty much these just screw directly into the concrete once you've drilled the proper sized hole. The washers are 30mm with a 10mm hole in the centre. We're going to use a 30mm washer with a 10mm hole in it. So we'll slip that on there. And that's how that'll look. And what that does, the reason you recess that 10mm, you can see that there, it's totally flush. It's not so important in my situation here where I'm taking fence rails off the side of here, but when it is important is when you're mounting a gate to here, so that the gate folds onto the wood. It needs to be flush, hence why you need to recess these. Typically in my case, just because I'm fitting fence rails on the side here, you don't really need to recess this. You could just drill the hole, use the washer and the fixing, and that would be adequate. So we've obviously got the top cut at the 30-degree angle. We've got all the holes drilled. Okay, so one important thing I'll mention here is whenever you cut pressure treated timber or drill into it, what you're doing there is exposing untreated wood. I mean, the treatment on pressure treated timber only goes in so far. So whenever you do this, you need to coat it with a preservative. In my case, this is not getting painted, so I'm going to use a clear preservative. Yes, what I use is Ronseal Total Wood Preserver, which is a clear liquid, which we can slap all over these holes now just to make sure the wood's nice and sealed. The cut edge here as well. Yeah, so I just use this old oil painting brush, it just fits in here nicely, dip it in, good nice clear liquid, and just slap it all over the hole like that. It just preserves that bare wood, and same here on the top. Right guys, so that's the post in position. So as you saw what we were doing earlier, here's our 4 holes with the recesses and the angle on the top obviously. So the first thing we're going to do is get the height set, hold it in position and drill the first hole in the top. What we're going to use to drill the first hole is an 8mm drill bit. So either a masonry drill bit or a SDS drill bit. I'm going to be using that SDS drill bit, which is this. But you can use just a normal drill and hammer action with that masonry drill. So again, all we're going to do is set the height, mark the concrete, and then we can take that away and drill the hole. I'll show you that now. Okay, so I've set the height. I'm not worried about level or anything at this time, just the rough area where you're wanting to post. All we're going to do is get the drill in and just give it a quick pulse. Take it out and then take the wood away. And you can see where that's marked. So what we're going to do now is just drill that hole a bit further. So let's back it. Okay, so we've got our first hole there. What we're going to do now is insert the bolt and the washer in through here. So we've got the bolt and the wood. There it is sticking through. All we'll do now is just offer this up to the hole. That's it in the hole now. Just push it in position. There we are, so we've got our first bolt in. It's just loose just now. So what we're going to do now is nip this up with a 15mm socket and a wrench or a ratchet. So this will just nip it up now. These screws just take a bite straight away. You can feel it going in. So just nip that up very slightly. All we're going to do now is level the post. So we'll get the level on it now. Okay, so we've got the level on the post now. The post is quite rigid because we've tightened this bolt up slightly. It's really level now, so what I'm going to do now is tighten that bolt ever so slightly more just to give it a good grip, and then we'll check level again. Okay, so we've got that nipped up solid. It's level now, so what we're going to do now is run the masonry drill through these holes again, just to mark the position. Okay, so we've levelled this up. I've now or drilled through these holes to mark the wall. Now we can swing this out the way. I've loosened this off slightly so we can swing the wood out the way, and that reveals the holes there. So what we'll do now is just drill them fully. The reason I'm doing it this way is because I don't have a long enough drill. I mean, normally you would just use a long drill and go right through. I can't find my long drill, so I'm just using my shorter one just now. The reason I'm having to move this out of the way. We'll do that now. So we're just getting the drill into the mark and just drill it now. I mean, these X-Force drills are brilliant. They actually pull themselves into the concrete as opposed to you having to push, so that's what I use all the time. Okay, so the holes are all now fully drilled. You see them there, 1, 2, 3. We just swing the timber back, get it level, and then insert the screws and tighten them up. Okay, screws inserted. We're just in the process of screwing them in now with a ratchet. So just you don't need to over tighten them, just nip them up. That's enough for that one. On to the bottom one. And that's solid. So you can see the final fixing. It's a good fixing. Right guys, it's in position, fully level. Swap back. So it's fully installed now. 4 fixings, absolutely solid. Now we could either hinge a gate off of here, or well, in my case I'm going to run fence rails off of this. There's an angle here for the rainwater to hit and run off. This is absolutely solid. Right guys, that's it finished. Totally solid, fairly easy to do. As I say, if you like it, give it a thumbs up as usual. Anybody that's new, subscribe to my channel by clicking that button there, and links to everything that was used in this video will be down in the description.